Hey folks, David Stewart here. We are back after a little break. Didn't stream last week. Boy, my desk is messy, so you can hear me moving stuff around. Alright. Hope you guys are having a good one. Bring down the music a little bit. Yeah. Back from vacation. So I hope you guys are having a good one. We're going to do some Livewrite. Pick up where we were. Now, we actually need to do a little bit of planning because I just started jumping into this document that I planned live. But I didn't plan every chapter. So we're going to plan a couple chapters today to kind of round out the middle section of our Odyssey. This little young adult Odyssey thing that we're doing. And then we'll see how many words we could put on the page. When things are planned, I've noticed in these streams I can usually do like 3,500 words. So it's not that hard to write fast if you know what you're doing. Most people write slow because they don't know what comes next. They don't know what they're doing, and they don't have a lot of practice writing prose, so they're overthinking like all of the mechanics of the writing rather than doing what they know. It's kind of like, if I make a musical analogy, since we have some music playing, somebody who's a really experienced musician and a really experienced composer can pick up an instrument and improvise a piece that will sound like almost like a complete piece. Bach was a famous improviser. He could take a motive and write a fugue out of it. Instantly, he can improvise a fugue, which is a really complicated form of composition, but he could do those improvisations because he had done all of the work prior to doing that, learning how to write fugues meticulously, learning how they interact, learning what kind of figures he liked to use in fugues, what kind of things he liked to use for episodes and entries that made it easy to do that. So when the time came to improvise fugues, he could do a pretty good job of them because he had done all the prior work. And then any mistakes he might make with a live improv, he could go back and fix when he decided to write it out as a complete piece. So the more practice you have at this, the quicker it is to put words on the page because you're just executing things you've executed before. You're not having to do a lot of processing and thinking about how a sentence is constructed because you've constructed millions of sentences before that. And you're just sort of doing that again. So it gets easier. That's my point. It gets a lot easier as you go along. So let's go ahead and I'm trying to look at the live stream here. Make sure it's actually going here. Because on my restream it's just showing the there it is. It's just really far behind on restream. That's it. Alright. Just to make sure we're going good here. So, all right, let's take a look at the planning document to start. Okay, here's our planning document. You notice I have other adventures where they acquire wealth, etc., and follow Pepin's trail. Okay. So, I had a couple episodes that I wrote in here that we wanted to do at some point. Alfred falls for Victoria. Victoria falls for Alfred. Aethelready gets some money, so we want to get one where he actually gets some money. I'm going to turn on a ceiling fan real quick because it is hot. There we go. Not turning on the lava lamp because that'll make it hot in here too. Everything will get hot. All right. So yeah, so we want to do one of these. We kind of want to have an adventure for each character that sort of tests what they are about. So Aethelready kind of got one here, which was like wanting money to the point where he was, willing to go against his friends and do something really foolish. And he was kind of saved by blind luck, right? Because he was kind of saved by luck, he learned a lesson about not doing foolish things. And in that last chapter, which was chapter 9, I think, which, by the way, you can get all this stuff for free if you're one of my patrons. I put it out every week for Patreon and Substack people. Victoria's proven correct again because she has this kind of wealth of fictional knowledge. So we're going to need an episode for her where that wealth of fictional knowledge and her arrogance, basically she needs an ego check in order to continue on the journey and to be fully prepared for what comes next. And so we can do that ego check now, or we can do it later, right? The point is that she needs an ego check where her knowledge of things and her assumptions about how things are going to work, while they are useful, she's taking them too far. So that'll be one of our mid stories here. So I'm actually going to write that down. I need to spell knowledge. Right. So that's going to be one of our adventures here. We need one for Alfred. You know, what's his flaw? Alfred's, we're kind of testing all of their character flaws. Alfred basically needs, and this will be a significant one for him, which is that he needs to be tested for him not thinking about the kingdom and instead thinking about his parents and their needs, right? And that's what the steward rebuffs him on in the capital. When they get to the capital, the steward kind of rebuffs them on what he's doing. Let's see if this is actually live. It's not monetization. Okay. All right. So many people are watching. Live control room. I mostly focus on YouTube, but if I take a week off, this is just a thing. Like, for anybody that's interested in doing this, if you take like a week off, it like obliterates your live stream views. This is why streamers get so stressed out. And I'm not even a streamer. I'm just a guy who does this like 1 or 2 times a week. Streamers get so stressed out because if they take one day off from their business, they will start losing money. You know? It'll take their views. Like, you're married to the job, and if you go on a vacation for a week, you'll come back and all of your views will be half to 1/4 of what they normally are. Because in that 1 week, the people who have habituated their schedule to watching you do something live will just not show up again. They've already changed their habits in a week. They've dehabituated to watching you. It's a major problem. So what some streamers will do is they'll do replay stuff, right? And it's kind of like you have to treat it like you're live broadcasting on a TV station. So you do like replays of old streams, or you do replays of stuff you've already done, so that people won't dehabituate to what you're doing. At least they'll tune in, and if they're like, it's a cheesy clip show. Remember how like 90 shows would do this cheesy clip show thing, where they basically wouldn't be able to make a show because of budgetary or time constraints. So they just edit together a clip show that people would just talk about as, hey, remember this time we did this? And there'd be a clip of some time where they did that thing. And that would be the show for a week, because you just didn't have time to write and record and do all the stuff for a real show. So streamers, clever streamers, have figured out that they can do this. They can just have taped replays happening. And you can actually do that with Restream, I think. I think Restream will let you... And from YouTube's perspective, they won't know it's like a replay of something, right? So you can just live stream a video that you've already recorded. which is cool. I haven't used that feature yet, but it could be a solution for some streamers who are just really in a place where they can't take any time off. They feel like if I take a single day off from my job, it'll destroy my business. Imagine signing up for a job like that where you can never take time off and expect things to be able to go back and be okay afterwards. It's bad. Anyway. All right, so we need one for, we have this here. This is just like, this is not really an adventure that needs to happen, right? This is just something that needs to happen as we're going, is that like we have to have something where like Alfred actually falls in love with Victoria, because that's what we want to have for our B story, And for Alfred to get Victoria's heart, he has to do something that's like very like fairy tale-ish. And I haven't figured that out yet. We'll figure it out as we go. We'll have something where Aethelready actually gets some treasure or some money or something like that. All right, let's do a little bit of writing here. I'm going to put this right here. For Adventure 2. It'd be something that seems like very... Let's do like a werewolf story, because this one would be pretty fun. Yeah, she'll know like all the lore of werewolves and like how to help these people. And Aethelready and Alfred are just convinced that these people are nuts, and it's not a werewolf. It's just a pack of wolves, and so they're going to go out and they're going to hunt the wolves for the people if they want to help them. Right. So that's I think would be a really, really easy story to frame. So it's, they go to a village. People there are think there is a werewolf. They want to sacrifice a person to appease the werewolf god. I already have a name for him. 2. Right. There's like the good one, Ulviatri. And there's another one that I came up with. Hold on. Give me a second and I have to pull up another manuscript to get his name. Where is it? King Leper. So I'm going to tie this into King Leper a little bit. It'll be fun. Oh, now we're getting some chat. Awesome. YouTube will probably crack down on that eventually, yeah. I had a small game streaming channel as a hobby. Had to take about 10 days off and lost 90% of my audience. There you go, dude. Took months to get back up and never made it all back. Yep. In just a little time off, people will completely dehabituate. This is why a lot of YouTubers just don't want to do the live streaming thing, because it's so stressful to do it. Lucitus, that's the name of the god. All right. I'll just say the gang. This is some good calm music. Let's get this calm music back up here. Winter. Yeah, I mean, YouTube might crack down on it. The point is that YouTube already has ways to detect if it's content you've done before. So, like, let's say I want to just re-upload something I've done before. You have to cut it up a little bit. You have to change some stuff to re-upload it, or YouTube will detect that it's duplicated content. Yeah, you're not supposed to do that because it messes up the algorithm. But there's a lot of channels that do it. I'm just telling you. You know, there's channels that have dead YouTubers still uploading videos. You know, I think the Mountain Dog channel, which is a bodybuilding channel, you'll still see new videos come up even though the guy's been dead for like 2 years. It's just old stuff he shot and they just re-upload it with like a new edit. Or delete the old one and then re-upload it to get all those views again. And there's a way that you can do that where you just look at what people are doing, and like if the views are really low but they were high earlier, you just delete it because you're not really losing anything by losing like 5 views a week, and then just re-upload it and get another 1,000, 2,000 views, and then it goes back down again, you know. YouTube prioritizes new content over old content, so it's just an attempt to try to game the algorithm, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, I still have videos that get lots of views every week that are almost 10 years old at this point. So just do with that information what you will. All right. You know, she's gonna, yeah. When a full moon arrives. She's gonna, yeah, as a bait. We have an idea here. I'm not sure she would actually like allow them to put the child out. So I'm actually not going to you know. All right, let's hop into it and see what we can write. Zoom this in a bit so you guys can see the writing a little bit better. Here's some weird Mr. Bean channel that just uploads slightly different clips compilations again and again. Don't know if that's official or not, but it exists. So the other thing about live streaming is that you'll see this, there's like a Peppa Pig channel, and it just live streams the show. So you can do that. So you could probably live stream previous live streams. You just Make it not a VOD, not a video on demand. And then it probably doesn't count as like duplicate content. So there's probably some ways around it. My point is that like, if you want to stream, you probably have to figure out something to do if you need to take a day off and be a normal person, right? Nobody has 100% uptime. And I'm going to go on, let me go on just a very slight rant here. Okay. Slight rant. It is not normal for people to work constantly all the time. That is not normal. That is something, as historically, I mean, that is something that we've cooked up in the modern age. I don't know why, right? Medieval peasants did not work themselves to death every day. Yes, there was hard physical labor. But if you know anything about agriculture, especially like subsistence agriculture, the kind of agriculture they were doing in the medieval period, there were whole months where you weren't doing anything. You were sitting around doing little kind of basic maintenance tasks because it was winter. So you were eating what you'd stored. You were maybe doing some winter crops, tending to them, cooking, fixing your house, cutting wood to burn for warmth. You were doing a little bit of work, right? When sowing started, you did lots of work. You had to plow the fields. You had to sow the seeds. You had to do all this prep work for your crop to happen. Then in the summer, what did you do? You let the crops grow and you pulled weeds. And then harvest time came and you would spend a lot of effort harvesting this crop. So you had these 2 seasons which were very frantic with a lot of work. And then other seasons which were a lot less work. If a farmer got ill, if he got ill in like February and he needed to prune his trees, he still had to do it. You can't put that off till tomorrow. But if he got ill in summer, like he could take a day off and it wasn't a big deal. Medieval peasants, like they figured that medieval peasants worked less than modern people. Right. So the idea that you need to be working and grinding 24/7, I'm not sure where this came from, but it's not a historical reality. People had more downtime than we have today in a lot of cases. People like streamers. Why do people want to be a streamer? So you have to think about this too, because I've kind of gotten to the heart of this talking to my students over the years and just to a lot of people, why they do things. And I talked about it a little bit with the indie author mindset. It's why do they want to make a lot of money? Why do you get excited to make $50,000 writing books? $50,000 a year. Not a bad salary. It's like the median US income, right? Why do you get excited about that? When you get down to it, most people are excited about that because they're looking for other people to love them. And that's why they want to be a streamer. I hear it all the time from kids. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a streamer. Why? I want to be famous. Why do you want to be famous? I want people to love me, right? That's what they're really saying. When someone says I want to be famous, they're saying I want people to love me. Okay, but they can't love you the way a real person would love you with their parasocial relationship. I view all of you as my viewers, and I love you from that perspective. But you're not my wife, right? So what people should be doing is figuring out why they want love so bad and why is it missing in their real life. And if you can fix it in your real life, then you won't feel the need to be famous or to take this super seriously. If the idea of streaming is such a fantastical sorry. Whoa. It's such a fantastical, fun idea to you, and it's such a joyful thing to do, that's different from I want to be famous, I want people to like me. Most of the time, it's that people want to be liked, which is a different thing to solve than I enjoy streaming or I enjoy making YouTube videos. Those are different feelings. And it's the same thing with indie authors. They're I want to make a bunch of money. Why? Because I want people to like me. I want to feel loved by having lots of people read my art. And it's can I get an AI to make this book so that people will love me? It's you're missing the point, right? If you don't enjoy doing this, then this is not something that you need to be doing. You should do something that you love, and it's creating something that's meaningfully an expression of yourself not look at it as like, how can I make money with product? There's better products to make than books to make money. You know what I mean? I think, what is this? What are your thoughts on people who say that writers aren't as good today because they lack a range of life experiences? I'm not sure if I prescribe to such an idea necessarily. Okay, well, let's think about that, right? Think about the great writers of the world and what their life experiences were. Did they go on amazing events? Did Dante go on amazing adventures? He had life experiences, the way we all have life experiences, you know. But he didn't go on great adventures. I mean, Tolkien was in a war, but lots of people are in a war. I mean, that's an adventure. That's definitely an experience, but not necessarily an experience that most people want. Like, if you were to ask J.R.R. Tolkien, like, do you think the experience of World War I was a good experience? He'd probably tell you no. Like, people don't want horrible experiences. And you shouldn't seek out horrible experiences to, like, make yourself a better writer or something like that. The truth is, writing is a craft, and it's a craft that you practice and get good at. Like, people don't have this with musicians. Musicians need life experiences to write sad songs or something. I don't think so. I think it's about practice. I think if you practice hard, you become a better musician. If you just do it a lot, you'll become a better musician. Now, you do need some life experiences, but we all have those. Like, you shouldn't stay inside your house and do nothing, right? You shouldn't be hikikomori. If you're hikikomori, then that's a different problem, right? It's not like I'm a bad writer because I'm hikikomori. It's that you shouldn't be a shut-in. Being a shut-in is bad for you. You should just not do that. So yes, have life experiences. I don't expect them to make you a better writer, because I know people who have had crazy life experiences and they're not good writers, right? You have to practice this. I don't prescribe to such an idea. And then you look at lots of writers and you realize that their life experience is actually pretty banal, like Robert E. Howard. It's pretty average, right? So how did he write great things? Is he had a great imagination. He exercised his imagination really, really well and was a very good practiced writer. I think research is important, but I'd attribute it more to lack of willingness to think about different perspectives. The willingness or even the ability to even entertain concepts or perspectives. To me, that's honestly part of general intelligence more than anything. Like, some people can't do it because they're just not that intelligent. It's kind of a conditional hypothetical. Like, you have to be willing to entertain other perspectives, but to even think of other perspectives, you have to have like a minimum level of intelligence. And some people maybe don't have that. I think the reason writers are bad is that they are not trying to be good at their craft. They don't have enough practice. That's probably a big one. Or they are putting elements of making a good product below other things like politics or some sort of meta thing that they want to think about. Like, I want to write stories that are about women who are like this. Okay, but that's not good story writing. Good story writing is all the crap that I talk about, right? Like, how do you affect a reader? How do you make them want to like a character? They just aren't willing to do that. They either are unaware of those things because they've never thought about them, or they've never had someone point it out, or they've never thought critically about what they've read, or they don't care about it. I think a lot of them would be capable of writing good stories. They just don't care to, right? Like, Hollywood has very little story writing talent, but what they do have gets just sort of put below whatever political messaging and whatever meta thing they want to talk about. We need a movie about a woman Thor or something. That's totally subservient to any idea of good story writing. I can't imagine being a full-time YouTuber or streamer. In the long run, that's just a lot more insecure and stressful than most normal jobs. Yeah, and it's really insecure. The robot can just turn your money off whenever it wants to, and then you're just shit out of luck. Sorry, YouTube algorithm doesn't like your content anymore. It's not showing it to anyone. I've seen so many YouTubers make a video. Things are bad. YouTube's changing. YouTube sucks. I've been seeing it for 8 years, man. YouTube has done bad things. Every YouTuber ends up making a video like that. My video like that was just like, The robot doesn't like me anymore. So read my books. I'm going to focus on books for a while. Yeah, you should have anyway, the big point is you should have life experiences. Go out and have life experiences. Don't join the army because you think it'll make you a better author. It probably won't. And if you have a bad time, if you're not joining it for the right reasons and you have a bad time, that's just going to scar you. Why would you don't harm yourself to try to make yourself like a better at some craft? And then why do you want to be a better writer anyway? Why do you want to be a writer? Is it because you want people to love you? Well, you need to fix that problem. Oh, my parents didn't love me. That's why I'm going to be a writer. Okay, maybe let's work on that. How do you make people like characters? You have them do things that people like to do or like other people to do. You have them be virtuous. It's really simple. You know, as much as I don't like Blake Snyder's approach to writing, he's right, even though he oversimplifies it. You know, you have a save the cat moment. You just show the protagonist, you're showing who the good guy is, and you show him doing something good that people approve of. He saves a cat out of a tree. People like him for doing that because they would want a cat to be saved, or they would want to save a cat themselves. So you just show characters being virtuous, and people like them for that. People love virtue. Virtue points to the good. So if your character is doing good things and doing things which point to the good, then, as you can guess, people will end up liking that character. And if you want people to hate a character, you have the character do things that the audience thinks are reprehensible or bad. This is perhaps another reason why Hollywood and a lot of modern writers fail, is that they're in rebellion against the good. So when you're in rebellion against the good, now I'm going to continue this rant. Here we go. When you're in rebellion against the good, you can't make your characters likable because they won't do good things. You make your characters in rebellion against the good, and people will hate them. And if you make your villains aligned with the good, people will like them. Right? And you see this sometimes with like misshot satire. Hey, you know, this Warhammer guys are super satirical. You're not supposed to like them. It's like, then why are they pointing to the good? People like them because they're pointing to the good. Because their aesthetics look cool. That a cool aesthetic points to the good. It points to God. Okay? So, if you don't have that figured out, then you're not going to figure out how to make your characters do virtuous things that people are going to like. You can give an example, right? And Hollywood will do this. Let's say you have a character and you show them cheating on their wife, right? And the writer wants to portray cheating on this person's wife as good. And then he's perplexed when everyone hates the character for it. Why? Because we don't like infidelity. Infidelity points to the bad, not the good. So a character having infidelity, a character cheating on his wife, is bad. You notice like so many weird romance stories involve like infidelity and stuff because it is racy and it points to the bad. It's pornographic. But you're not going to think that character's good. You're not going to root for that character, right? Or like the character discovers he's secretly gay and begins a romance with a gay lover. And it's like, why does everyone hate this character? He's being himself now. It's like, that's you not understanding the good. The point is he's acting with infidelity. The point is he's rejecting his oaths and his promises. He's breaking those. And he's doing something gross, right? Even before you get to the physical act being gross. He's acting in a vicious way. Therefore, you don't like him. It's really that simple. And I'll remember this moment because there's a weird perverse moment in Braveheart where I saw it in theaters many years ago. Yes, you can criticize my parents for taking me to see Braveheart. It's a great movie though. Even though the costumes are out of bounds. Like they're all wrong. But anyway, like they're wearing their kilts in a really weird way and they're dressing in clothes they wouldn't have dressed in the Middle Ages. Or the 13th century, rather. So, there's a part where, like, Edward's son, is it Edward II? His favorite, there's a strong homosexual subtext to the relationship between Edward's son and his favorite. And so, Edward the Longshanks, during this one scene, gets angry at the favorite telling him how to run the kingdom and throws him out a window and murders him. And people in the theater clapped. Why did they clap? Why did they clap for the bad guy in the movie killing his son's gay lover? Is because we recognize that the son was being effeminate, weak. He was being all of these vicious things, and Edward was improving him by killing his lover. It seems very perverse, but people loved it. People loved that moment. We're like, hell yeah. Like, Edward the Longshanks, and it upped Edward's villain potential. Edward's a guy who will just kill to get what he wants. He'll kill. And then it made a strong point when, like, basically Edward's son got cucked by William Wallace, which is not historical, but it's a great story moment, which is like, you spent all this effort, you murdered these guys to make your son into what you want him to be, and I cucked him. You know, I banged William Wallace, and I got William Wallace's baby in my womb. What do you think about that? Right. So yeah, people cheered at that moment because of all of those elements coming together. And in 2024, people would be like, you can't do that. It's because they've lost contact. Like, if you're in rebellion against God, if you're in rebellion against the good, you can't understand what the good is, then you're going to write characters who are bad and nobody's going to like them, because anybody who is normal, who has like a normal relationship with what's good and decent, is going to hate those things, is going to hate people for that, right? Anyway. Well, some people think that the act of rebellion is good in and of itself, right? But I don't think it's that. I think it's that they want the bad to be good. They want to indulge in their lusts and have those lusts be called good. That's the framing for all of modern culture right now, is you have a bunch of little groups who want their particular fetish, their particular lusts, their particular vices to be declared good. Whether it's fat acceptance, which is declaring gluttony good, or it's some other sexual perversion being declared good, right? Whatever has it. And then of course we have the slippery slope, where each time you do that, you get closer towards, you get the quote maps wanting their lusts to be declared good. And then you definitely know that you have crossed a very significant moral line at that point. If you don't know before then, I can't help you, but that's where you're at. It's people want license to act. They don't want freedom. They want people to say it's good. They want people to say it's good and appropriate and okay to do it. Not merely, we're not going to throw you in jail for it because it's not worth our time, but to proclaim it good, to proclaim the bad good. And you can only sustain that for so long, because most people are not totally, like, they don't view all vice as good and all virtue as bad. Rather, it's their particular interest in lust which is good, and then they kind of ad hoc continue with other virtues, right? It's an interesting thing to think about. I don't need to pontificate too much. This is supposed to be a stream where I write, and I'm almost out of time already. I need to go for about 20 more minutes. But there's your little tip: how to make characters likable. You make them do virtuous things. You show the audience the character doing something virtuous, and that will make the character likable, whatever it's going to be, right? So if we're looking at this story that we're writing here, right? Aethelready does all kinds of virtuous things. He saves his friend. We already are on Aethelready's side, so we forgive him when he does a stupid thing. Same thing with Victoria. She's already done a bunch of good things for people. So when she does something stupid here, we'll forgive her. We've already done the investment to make her good. How dare you talk about morality? Good on you. Yeah. No, it's no big deal. That's why I'm live streaming, is so I can answer questions, right? It gives me a little break, and then another little fragment of my mind can think about this. See, the proper word to use here would actually be faggot, like a stick for burning. But we don't want to use that because it's 2024 and this could actually get the book banned. Right. Kind of funny too, if you ever look at Italian scores, bassoons are called fagotti. The sticks. Alright. Higher. Spelling this word right. I don't think I have spell check. Pious. always cycles back around to this rain. This epic rain piece. I'm gonna do for the 100th improv. I'm gonna do like a really crazy piece. That's like really long and has a bunch of different parts. Like a culmination of all the crap I've done on that channel. time is it? I've been going for about an hour. I need to actually wrap this up. I didn't do a lot of writing. We did a lot of planning. So we'll do another one of these and we'll write some more. I'm going to get them to the village. So we're going to set up our little story. Deciduous. Alright, there we go. Sometimes I like this. Meadow, okay. Save me some time. Score, get out of here. Robot editors, shut up. Alright. Should be a girl or a boy. is no longer facing me. Thanks, camera, for just pointing in a random direction. It's like, well, it's gonna... The tension of the cable will make me turn away. Alright, I think I'm about out of time. I've done an hour and a half. It didn't point right at my nose, no. On the topic of how life experience benefits authorship, I think that the person can accrue experience vicariously through books and media. It's simply easier to accrue it with real life experiences. Well, there's certain experiences that you can't have. You know? And that knowledge can inform you as a story writer. But the basics of story writing don't require you to have experience. Like, you know, I'm trying to think of like an experience that you really like, what it feels like to be beaten to a pulp, right? You don't need to experience that to imagine what it's like to be in intense pain from being beaten up. But if you've ever like been in a fight and like had pain from being in a fight, then you can write about that. But I don't think it's necessary, because what matters for the story is like the outcome of the fight, not how bad a broken nose hurts. You know what I mean? That is not quite as important as like the way the story comes out. It can help, right? All those things can help. So if you think about the time you ran into a pole and broke your nose, that's what it feels like to get punched in the nose and break your nose. And so you can kind of equate those two and connect those two. So it helps, right? You know, like none of us have been on a fairy tale adventure in the mountains. But maybe you've been hiking in the mountains, so it's good to go to the mountains and know what it's like to hike around or go camping if you're going to write about people going camping. You have to think about how those experiences connect. If you're just somebody who sits on the couch playing video games, there's like all of your experiences are vicarious. You got to have some like real experiences to like draw on too. So you got to get out there and do some things. But the idea is like, I need to go be a merchant marine so I can write better books. It's like, it's probably not going to make you write better books because it's a craft. But it will give you some insights into people. You know, go out and meet and mix it up with different people, and you gain a lot of insights about how people operate, and that can be helpful as well. You know, you do need some experiences, but you don't have to have a crazy adventure experience. You don't have to live a lifestyle of the rich and famous to write better. You know, living a normal life and going and doing those other things, that'll help, I think. Yeah, it's hard to explain the fear of like when you've been in a really dangerous situation. But, you know, the dangerous situation of like a bear might eat me can be kind of the same as like this person might attack and kill me. You know what I mean? Like the feeling of fear is going to be similar. I became a photographer so I could write women better. Just, yeah, you got to spend some time with women. And the thing is, people are not people, right? Every person's an individual and thinks and acts differently. So you got to meet a lot of people to figure out what a lot of motivations are. People are motivated by lots of things. You know, you can't have it be a completely solipsistic life where you're only thinking about your own motivations. You don't think about how other people feel about things. Okay, so that helps. All right, I think that's about it for today. How much did we get done? Let's find out. How much actual writing? 1,500 words, 1,600 words. That's okay for the amount of time I spent talking and ranting. So anyway, guys, I'll see you all next time. Have a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All the relevant links are down in the description box. You know, all that stuff is there. So check it out, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day. I may link a book. I'll find a book. Buy a book. Keys for Living Creativity. Boom. Help you with your creative process. Oops. There you go. And let's link another book. You can start with, what's a good one to start with? Let's do City of Silver. And we'll be coming out with another book in this series at some point here. All right, that's it, folks. See you all next time.